Thank you for joining us at Trending Faith. Jason, I got a question for you. I think this is a sweet spot for you, knowing what I know about you. So how should Christians respond to art that advocates immorality? Is it just a movie or a video game? So what's your response to that question?
Yeah, I do like that question. I've thought quite a bit about this, which makes it hard to answer quickly. I would start here. I would say that in many ways we tend to think of some of the things that we do, especially when it comes to entertainment or leisure time, as the sort of thing that we can do without really hurting anyone. It's a victimless crime, we would say. Right, so there are a number of different things we would participate in, and we'd say we're not really hurting anybody. We can deal with it. We can handle it. No harm, no foul. We move on. The problem is that the decisions we make and the things that we involve ourselves with actually do corrupt our character. They're going to shape our character in particular ways, and we always interact with others on the basis of our character. So there may be an indirect harm that comes to somebody else. It comes because I've corrupted my character and then I begin to interact with others. But one way or the other, I'm either hurting myself when I make poor decisions or hurting others, and usually both. And so this victimless crime mentality sometimes makes its way into the arts. So I can watch whatever show I want, I can tune into whatever movie I want, I can go and look at an exhibit, I can listen to whatever kind of music. It makes no difference. Immorality is neither here nor there, which is completely absurd. If you can't imagine Jesus enjoying that with you, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And so when you think of art is both an expression of the culture and a driver of the culture, both at the same time. It's sort of the people in the culture creating products, producing things that are an expression of how they feel and how they think, and at the same time, it's shaping how we feel and think. It's a sort of a community space, an expression, and we all participate in it. So if I'm a Christian, I'm entering into that space. I have to think very carefully, what happens if I watch, to pick an example, an R-rated movie that's filled with nudity, that's just completely sexual, and it's intentionally trying to arouse and incite, and it's pornographic essentially, but it's soft enough. It's rated R. I'm not watching anything that's normally considered pornography. Is that okay? Well, my response would be no. What you're doing to yourself in those moments is going to pollute you, corrupt you, shape you in ways that are not helpful, open you up to things of this world that are not actually pleasing to Christ. And so if you think I can indulge in some art, I can participate in some art, I can somehow take this in without being stained or corrupted, well, you're sort of living in a dream state. That's just not real. The way a Christian ought to engage in that space is to think about, how can I be salt and light in a very dark world, in a world that's dying, that's decaying? How can I enter carefully into that space so I'm part of that conversation, but actually contribute something to it that's meaningful and honors God? Now, what that looks like depends on who you are. Are you artistic? Are you musical? Are you visual? Or what exactly do you do? And how can you do it? But at every point, we ought to think about, how can we engage the conversation in a way that bends the conversation ever closer to Christ and causes others to think of Him rather than just entering into it for the sake of enjoyment and comfort. So that's a sort of a long-winded answer, but that's how I'd begin.
It is such a difficult challenge for Christians living in this world, living in the world, whether it's in this generation or ages past, to really protect one's heart and mind. And we have unique challenges in this day and age. Thank you. Great answer. Well, thank you for joining us at Trending Faith. If you'd like to submit a question, please refer to the website at the bottom of this video, and we'll see you next time.